I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. I'm talking right now about one of the 15 reasons why people just don't like the prospect. Yeah, I admit it. You don't wake up in the morning and say, man, I want to go prospect. Yeah, I mean, for some people they do, but most people, they're uncomfortable with it. So here's the whole thing. There's an uncertainty about prospecting. And what I want to talk about right now is the uncertainty about the value proposition. What is it that I'm selling? Let me walk you through 6 things you can use, 6 strategies I want you to take a look at, help you get over this uncertainty about the value proposition. Number 1, it's not what we think that matters. It's what the customer thinks. You see, we may look at the value proposition and say, this is weak, this is not right. But it's not what we think that matters. It's what the customer thinks. We may not want this type of car. We may not want this type of computer, this type of whatever it might be. But that's not for us to decide. It's the customer making the purchase. See, it's what the customer wants. That's what determines the value proposition. Don't allow your mindset to determine the value of the value proposition. Number 2, why have people bought from you before? Now stop and think about this for a minute. Why have people bought from you before? When you start looking at that, you go, why? Okay, here's the value prop. Here's the value proposition as to why they bought from me. Yes, bingo. Guess what? You're there. You're there. That's how you make numbers work. You see, why have they bought from you before? Because you've helped them with something. If that's in your value proposition, guess what? Your customers are going to want that. Your new prospects are going to want that. Number 3, does the value prop match the outcome? Now, this is why we prospect, because one of the reasons we prospect is because we want to really begin to understand, do they have an outcome? Do they have a need? It may be a pain, a gain, whatever it might be, but do they have something that we can help them with? And if it's something we can help them with, then the value prop matches that, then we have a winning solution. See, I have no reason to walk away from my value prop if it matches the outcome. Number 4, are you solving a pain or a gain? Now, this is really kind of cool because right now, in the economic period we're in right now, people are much more focused on solving a pain versus creating a gain. And value propositions take on more value if they help you deal with a pain. So if I can help you deal with a pain, guess what? You're going to win. Now, a gain, that's great. That's great. But you're going to have to stop and think about this because that's going to impact the type of value proposition you share. And you find this out in the prospecting phase. So that by the time you get to the point of really delivering the value prop, you know what it is that you're selling and why the customer is going to buy from you. Number 5, what's the role of time in this offer? One of the things that I always strive for very early on is I want to understand what's the relationship of time to why you're making a decision. Because if I'm prospecting you, you may show an interest in what I have. But if you're not going to make a decision for 2 years, what am I doing talking to you right now? You see, the role of time changes the value proposition dramatically. And number 6, what would happen if the customer doesn't buy? You see, that more than anything else determines the value of the value proposition. Because if the customer doesn't buy, what's going to happen to their business? What's going to happen to their life? What's going to happen to whatever it is? And if I can begin to get them to see that in the prospecting phase, guess what? By the time I put the value proposition on the table, they're going to be buying. What I've done is I've shared with you the 6 steps, 6 strategies that you can look at. You can really think through in terms of how to help you deal with the uncertainty about the value proposition. In my Sales Center University online platform, I have a number of courses to help you prospect more efficiently. Because I want you to become a master prospector. I want you to check out the courses right now. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter at the Sales Center. Great selling.